Welcome to this engaging workshop, How Location Technology is Redefining the Guest Experience. Olo, FlyBuy, and their joint customer, Five Guys, will deliver actionable insights and takeaways on integrating location technology to where restaurants already monitor their digital orders for pickup, delivery, and curbside. Please welcome Sean Marrero, Senior Director, Partner Ecosystems at Olo, Alonso Vargas, Senior Vice President of Product at FlyBuy, and Steve Teller, Vice President, Digital Strategy with Five Guys.
Welcome. Thank you for spending your time with us to learn about how location technology is redefining the guest experience. My name is Sean, and I have the absolute pleasure of working with some of the most innovative technology in the restaurant industry that comprise Olo's partner ecosystem. Joined up here by our partner, industry leader in location technology, Alonso, SVP of Product at FlyBuy. And I am absolutely honored to be joined by Steve Teller from Five Guys.
You don't know me very well, but that's very nice of you.
Well, we'll work that at the bar later, Steve.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a chance to hear from both of them on how our combined solution is helping Five Guys better connect with their guests. Creating a consistent experience across all of your ordering channels is really a necessary step in order to do that. Now, after we've all introduced ourselves and our companies, we're presenting you with a series of questions. We want to sort of spark a thoughtful conversation around how this can solve some of the problems you might be facing in your restaurants. And within each one of those, we'll go through and have Five Guys highlight how they've put this into action. First, let me tell you a little bit about Olo. Olo is excited to be part of this digital transformation happening in the restaurant industry. Our main goal is to really help restaurants thrive in this digitally transformed, increasingly competitive landscape. We help restaurants capture orders and all forms of guest engagement. We're driving sales and increasing profitability, all on a single technology platform that is both enterprise and an open platform to help streamline operations. When Olo was founded in 2005, we were simply a text message-based ordering solution. Today, we offer a robust product suite to enable it all. Digital ordering, delivery, channel management, guest engagement, and payment solutions. Presenting a comprehensive yet modular suite that expands as restaurants' needs expand. As a result, today we are operating at an unprecedented scale across 600 restaurant brands representing 85,000 locations. Like Five Guys, who is coincidentally one of our first customers.
We were, yes.
And your relationship with us actually predates all of our products but one. So thank you. We appreciate that massively. And obviously we like to tout the success of it.
I'd like to take credit, so I will.
One thing that is extremely near and dear to me, being in the partner ecosystem team, is that we're an open platform. We have over 300 integrated technology partners representing the largest and most diverse ecosystem in the restaurant industry. Like FlyBuy, these partners help us solve the unique needs of each one of our brands. And this ecosystem enables us to serve the 85 million consumers who've transacted with our platform over the last year alone. Now I'd like to turn it over to Alonso to tell you about FlyBuy.
Thank you, Sean. Really appreciate it. So my name is Alonso Vargas. I'm the Senior Vice President of Product for Radius Networks. Radius Networks is a location company. You may know our product, our platform, FlyBuy. So we've scaled FlyBuy we've deployed FlyBuy at scale in multiple countries, as you can see. We're powering many, many thousands of locations around the world. We're industry experts in providing location technology, and our products work really well for our partners off the shelf. But we've also got a great team of customer service and customer success implementers that help you really use the platform in the best way possible. Using our best practices, our innovative solutions, we really become an extension of our clients. And so really our goal is to drive a great customer experience, make sure that we drive repeat customers, right, and drive more revenue. But as you're thinking about what we're doing today, really think about that, creating that amazing customer experience and what goes into that. And I really don't think it's about being over the top. I really think it's about consistently meeting or ever so slightly exceeding those customer expectations. And so by using our location intelligence, we're really able to help deliver that amazing guest experience. So think about that as we're thinking about some of the questions and some of the engagement today. And then we'll also be talking about what we've been doing with our great partner here with Five Guys and with Olo, and how we've been able to quickly deploy our technology and really help create that customer experience to redefine what it means to dine at these restaurants.
Alonso, why don't you walk us through a little bit, sort of what our combined solution looks like in the market, all the products that it covers?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll cover some of them, and if there's any gaps here, please let me know.
Definitely.
But we are first and foremost, right? We're providing location intelligence to these Olo products, ordering, rails, dispatch, making sure that we have appropriate ETAs. We're able to deliver all of that operational intelligence to staff. And then what I'd like to also really kind of call out is the bidirectional integration that we just completed, right? So now you can use that expo screen, see all of that great intelligence, allow your staff to really prioritize their orders, increase efficiency, increase throughput. So again, our goal is to connect those location dots and then deliver them to the appropriate system. And obviously with this great partnership with Olo, we're able to deliver it to the right systems.
The only thing I would add is that, or don't use Expo. It's not a product we sell. It's something that we hand over to help operationalize all of this off-premise traffic. And the great thing is FlyBuy has a phenomenal dashboard as well. We want to create choice, right? No restaurant is the same. Even among 1,500 or so locations that you'll go through, each stack scenario setup operator operates differently. And so we're going to allow for that flexibility to meet them where they need to be met in order to meet the needs of their customers. So when you think about that in any of these products, understand it's all parsable and it's all able to be highly customized to sort of fit the model that you operate under. We'll go hand it over to you, Steve.
Great. I'll let you view that slide. I won't go through it too much. I just wanted to provide you really some history as to how we got involved with Olo and then FlyBuy, and give you an idea of kind of our journey in the initial stages and kind of where we are now. So I've been with the company for almost 20 years, very much a four walls centric, family-owned company. Was one of Olo's first customers in about 2010, 11. And online ordering grew for us, and one of the operational challenges we have, we serve burgers and fries, and
shakes.
That too. But our fry cooking process is a two-step process, and so we won't cook your fries till you get to the store. And we need a remedy for that, because we had online ordering customers that were in a hurry, and they'd get to the store and they'd be like, well, I ordered online. What's the point if you're going to make me wait 3 minutes for that final cooking stage of the fries? And we're like, we need a solution for this. And like, hey, what if we had a system that they pass a barrier, sends an alert to the store, staff knows to drop the fry, we're good to go. So we implemented that in around 2018. It worked very well. Obviously, there are some requirements. The staff needs to pay attention to the tablet. It's only as good as your engagement of the staff. You need customers that engage with the app or your mobile web to ensure that you can properly track them as they come to the store. So there is an idea. I was thinking earlier today about how the entire ecosystem is really about trust and everybody putting skin in the game, whether you're a customer, whether you're a driver for the DSPs, or whether you're a crew member. And everybody has to be like, okay, if I'm a customer and I'm giving you my tracking information and I'm doing a curbside order, when I pull up, I want my order there. You know, I allowed you to track me. You better have my order ready for me. And if I'm a driver and you say that my promise time is gonna be at 12:15, if I show up to your store as a driver at 12:15 and it's not ready, I'm going over to Chipotle and get a order, right? You know, so, and then the crew members have the same relationship. If I'm gonna cook my fries in advance to ensure it's a hot product for my customer, Mr. Driver, be sure you show up on time so I can give that to you, because I don't wanna waste that food. I don't wanna throw it away because you showed up 10 minutes late. So those components and those three parties all have to work together, and it works very well when everybody agrees to that. It does not work well when you have people waiting, you have drivers waiting, you have customers upset that you promised them a certain thing and you didn't deliver on it. So that is kind of an overreaching theme of this, is this idea that it works when everybody participates properly. So after that customer kind of rollout, we approached integration with the DSPs, the delivery service providers. And we had a system that worked pretty well. It was the ability to provide an initial ETA, and then we counted down from that time till the driver passed that 30-minute barrier, and then we dropped the fries. And so if they were 12 minutes out, we would count down 9 minutes, drop the fries, and then hopefully they didn't stop and grab a donut or something else, and it worked out. So we didn't get multiple ETAs for that driver. And so it worked pretty well most of the time, but if the driver stopped for any reason, driver gets a flat tire, whatever, we're gonna be off on our timing. We're throwing away food. And then, of course, it was, I think 3 years ago, almost to the day, I sat on my couch to watch the NCAA tournament, and they're like, it's canceled. And I'm like, oh, okay. I remember that. You're like, we're not canceling the NCAA tournament. And you're like, we're canceling the NCAA. The COVID hits, everything changes, all of our dining rooms close, and everybody's like, uh-oh, what do we do? Now, we were very fortunate in that our operation and our packaging, everything's to go. So we were able to kind of figure this out pretty quickly. If we can get an order mechanism to the door, we can, through Olo and FlyBuy, deliver something that's gonna work for us and get us through this capability, through the situation with the capabilities we had. The problem was obviously the volume of drivers, when it occurred, it was just overwhelming. We were just like, we were not expecting what we had, and it really was very difficult and chaotic to keep track of drivers, keep track of customers, some of which are opting in, some of which have turned off their app. And how do you balance the crew losing potential confidence in the system when not all three parties are participating? That's always a challenge, but moving forward, we've implemented some stuff, and I can get into a little later, where we are now able to provide far more granular information on driver approaching, where they are, what they're doing. If they drive past our store and trigger an alert but don't go into the store, we can get better understanding of their entire journey. Very similar to a customer that has opted in for full tracking on the native web or has the mobile web. We do a lot of mobile business. Do they have the mobile web in the forefront on their phone, and we can track them? That's great information, but the DSPs, it was such a large part of our business, it was really a black hole as to what they were doing. And then, You know, when you have challenges with certain orders and customers complaining, and then you go, okay, how do I take this data to build a case that there's a problem, right? We didn't really know that all the time, and that's what the technology is allowing us to do, is really understand what's going on, both from our customers and our DSP partners, to really just provide better service to the customer, you know, to the folks eating the burgers and fries.
Definitely. I remember when the tournament was canceled and I said, wow, this can't get any worse. I was wrong.
Yes.
And you know, it's really amazing how you all were able to handle and adapt this seismic shift. And the interesting thing is now looking at it in the rearview mirror, we see what companies did. We'll talk a lot about that today, but I feel like we're kind of on the cusp of another shift, and I think a lot of you are experiencing that. And so I really think that now is the time to, you know, push the boundaries. And I'm hoping that in the conversation that we have today, you know, will really help shed light on that.
And, you know, furthering on that is just to say that a lot of behaviors for guests have changed, and the things that they expect in that experience have changed. When I was first introduced to this technology, which would have been, you know, around that same time, 3 some years ago, I said, wow, this is absolutely the solution that's needed today and in this moment. But what has astonished me is its staying power and its ability to just streamline a consistent experience across all channels. And that's the most important thing, right? To connect with your guest is to be able to deliver a consistent experience, because that's what they come to expect from you. So let's dive into some of these questions. We want to hear from Steve and how Five Guys has tackled some of these problems with location technology. And then we want to open it up to you guys. We want this to be interactive. So if these are problems that you've had, how have you, tried to tackle them yourselves? And any questions you have about the application location technology can have in solving those. So first, what pain points would this technology eliminate in your restaurant?
Just the ability to, again, I've kind of went over it before, but just the ability to get a real understanding. Your customer uses certain order channels to save time, and they expect you to deliver on that promise when they engage with those different channels. And this technology allows you to do that. And when customers wait, or when delivery drivers wait, or delivery drivers miss items because the crew may have not had a visual cue on the FlyBuy dashboard to ensure that item has a bottled soda, or ensure they have fries, or that can be a problem. So it really just allows the crew members and really the drivers and customers, it gives their time back and gives them faith that they like our product, but do they like the channel we present to them? And it says, yes, they've delivered on that time savings that I was looking for, and I'll continue to use that, because it's another question later on, but you do want to meet the customer where they want to go. We serve burgers and fries, and we try to do that to the best of our abilities. And where the customer wants to do that, we don't care, We just want to meet them there, and this is what really allows us to deliver on that promise.
Absolutely. And, some of these aren't just, intrinsic benefits of potentially increasing lifetime value for this guest. There's also direct economic benefits, right? Creating efficiency and reducing dwell times for your DSPs can be a big factor in the rates that you're, able to keep consistently with the marketplaces, right? Because they respect that efficiency, and if you can do that in turn, it benefits you, right? It benefits you overall. I'd like to toss it out to the audience if anybody has any pain points they're looking to sort of eliminate, or how we might approach that.
Please raise your hand if you have a question.
Nobody's hyper obsessed with perfect French fries, because I kind of am.
Come on, be the first one. Oh, here we have one.
We have the pain point, so it's not really a question, but it's definitely a pain point. So in our coffee shops, it's difficult because the drink really is going to die pretty quickly. So we get a lot of the baristas will wait until they come in the door, and then they'll make, oh, you're Rob? Okay, we'll make the drink real, because it's going to die. They're going to make the drinks again. No one knows when the DoorDash driver is going to, who knows when they're going to drive up, you know? So they just wait. When they see the DoorDash driver coming up, they go, oh, this for, okay, we'll make it now. And then the guy's got to wait. So
Yeah, that's a perfect example.
It's difficult to get them to realize, just make the drink. Right. It says the time is going to be there. They need to be here, but it doesn't work out that way all the time.
Yeah, and you know, the interesting thing about that is if you think about using location technology, obviously, right, you could increase your efficiency, but also think about the throughput that you could increase by not having people sitting there, waiting there. You know, you're reducing the amount of waste, and that's certainly one of the things that our partners really appreciate about being able to use that location technology for sure.
Thank you. With the adaptation that we've had with Olo, we've seen our phone orders diminish, but still significant enough for us to continue to take call-in orders. To the Five Guys, do you ever take call-in orders?
We do. We also have a solution. It's an automated solution through an Olo partner, and that's gotten some traction for us. A lot of our franchisees use it, so it's a voice automated call center solution. And our biggest problem with, while the phone rings less, it still does ring, and it's a really bad experience, you know, because any kid under the age of 25 has the phone skills of what, you know, like they don't know how to engage. I saw something online that they were interviewing like a 15-year-old girl, and she was like, no, wait a minute. You grew up and there was one phone number and they would call your house and like your dad could pick up the phone? And like, yeah, that's how it used to be. It was one landline. So, you know, so the expectation, the engagement on your phone skills are not what they used to be. So this idea that we want our phone, the customer's getting a great experience, maybe. So, and not to mention just the idea of error rate. And if you've ever been in a Five Guys and the cashier is waiting in the line and suddenly the phone rings and they go, excuse me, sir, so, and they pick up the phone, you get a little hot if you're standing in the line for 10 minutes. So that was the kind of problem we look to fix. But yeah, the phone, we have a lot of stores that still, you know, have the phone ring, and it's challenging. It can, you know, it's not the best solution, and there's a lot of things out there.
You want a consistent experience.
You do want a consistent, you want an error-free experience, you want a consistent experience, and that's why we pursued it. The ROI is not like amazing on it, but I can tell you the crew members and the stores that have it love it, because I can focus on the in-store customer. I don't have a phone ringing. You know, did you say mustard or mushrooms? You know, and so you get around that stuff.
And one of the things that you hit on there is that, you know, a lot of times when we think about introducing all this new technology, that we're maybe dehumanizing the interaction that your guests get, right? That experience that they have. But the truth is, this leaves the folks inside the store more time to attend to the needs of the guest, right? They don't have to worry about picking up the phone in this instance, or worrying about when that person's going to show up to pick up this order. Knowing all of that just gives them more time to deliver a better experience, which is what we all really want in the end, right? We want to be able to connect with our customers, and that's one of the ways that it does it. Jump to the next question. What is something important about your guest experience that you feel disconnected from with your off-premise experience?
The one big difference, and it's subtle, but that quick interaction that a cashier does have with a customer, whether it's conscious or unconscious, the cashier has a bit of a relationship with that person. And it's small, but if there's a problem with that order, the cashier remembers that person who's standing in the dining room. Oh yeah, they wanted no salt on their fries, I forgot to tell you. And you are losing that in the off-premise world. You have people walking into your store, standing, waiting for their order, and they have not engaged with anybody, right? They engage with whatever platform you gave them to place that order, and you have to ensure that that platform conveys all the information that customer needs before they walk into your store, or the customer is going to be lost, right? We have customers, and it took us forever to tune this in. They walk in and they just stand there. And unless a crew member goes, "Excuse me, sir, do you have like an online order you're waiting for?" They will stand there, because most people don't like engaging with other people. It's a general rule a lot of times. And so they will stand there and wait until someone goes, "Oh yeah," or they won't know to go or won't see the sign. And so all that, ensuring that your platforms, whether it's Olo or whether it's FlyBuy, has that communication for the crew members or the customer, that you're just not going to you're not going to get online that you have in the store. You need to ensure that is present. One thing we did find out that we offer, you can go to Five Guys and get light and extra ketchup or whatever, right? It's not on the menu anywhere, but we train it. Like what we found during the pandemic was that when you give that visual cue to the customer for light or extra or anything, the frequency rate goes through the roof. And when that happens, all of that, what may have been 1 every 20 orders is now 1 every, 4. It is totally different. And we all know the challenges during the pandemic with crews and training. And so you're throwing the crew curveballs with different changes in the order coming across rather than, consistent. I can put my head down and make the same burger and fries for 5 hours in a row, but you throw light ketchup in there and the wheels come off. That's happening. And it's because of that visual cue you get in these platforms that the changes, you think, what's the big deal? It's light ketchup, but it'll throw a crew sideways when the frequency rate goes up. And so that's just, how do you balance that? How do you okay, we don't want to destroy our kitchen, at the same time offer customers the same experience they get when they walk in the door?
Yeah, and it's, I think, about creating a quality experience, not dehumanizing it, using the right tools in order to use your time wisely, because I think we all know, right, we're using these devices in order to minimize interaction. So I think that really it's all about putting the right tools and the right information in the staff's hands so that they could really have quality interactions as well.
We have a comment over here.
So my business, we do use curbside, so I can definitely see this could be beneficial for us to see when a customer has reached our perimeter and coming in. It's definitely something that I can see being useful, but it does require, I guess, the customer to have their location services turned on their phone. And so I was just curious, what percentage of your customers are you seeing that are actually leaving the location services on, and it's actually tracking their location all the way to your restaurant?
Yeah, so we see pretty good throughput on that, pretty good numbers, well over 50%. I think that, there's different ways in which we're asking for the permissions, to track your location. It's while you're using the app. We're also, making sure to introduce different notifications to wake the user. I think that once you're presenting the benefit of, the location, then people are willing to share that information with you. On the other side of it, like Steve was just mentioning it, if somebody is going to share that location with you, it's important to be able to, meet your side of the needs or your side of that bargain. But we do find that people are willing to share their location when you are providing something of value. And so I think that it's about the communication. But new technologies are being introduced. Some of you may know app clips. That's a new way to kind of bridge the gap, right, between the web user and the app user. So, one of the reasons why it makes sense to work with a company like ours is that we're constantly researching, innovating, and making sure that, we're presenting it in the right way, in a way that's also, privacy centric. We're the stewards of your privacy information, of your, guest information. So we do it in a way that's going to let the user know, hey, I feel comfortable doing this. I'm going to get something of value. And hopefully, you repeat that experience so that they consistently share that information with you.
Does anybody have anything that they feel is really important to their experience? So when your guests dine in, that's, again, that's a struggle to do in the off-premise space, right? I mean, it is hard to replicate an in-store experience off-premise, but through efficiency and through, what I would say is just a great experience in ordering off-premise. It may not be the same things that they experience when they dine in, but you're extending that hospitality beyond your four walls. And that's, I think, one of the biggest points of leveraging these things in the right way is it may not look the same as when they dine in store, but how can you still make them feel special and make them feel heard as your guest?
We have a comment here.
This doesn't exactly relate to location technology, but one of the pain points that my company works with is, with our DSPs, what do we do with that guest recovery? If there's something wrong, what can we do to help, resolve the issue if we don't have access to the actual customer?
Yeah, good.
Well, so that's a really interesting thing because I think that the location technology that we're introducing helps solve pain points for everybody. The relationship with DSPs can sometimes be a little bit sensitive. What we're doing is, again, trying to increase the efficiency and the throughput so that it is a more positive experience for everybody, thereby creating that great customer experience, right? So it's all about making sure that we've got the right information on both sides so that, again, it's a great handoff. So that's the way that we look at it, so that we're solving, again, that problem for everybody involved in that journey.
You do give up a little bit of control, right? Your ability to know who that guest is and to connect with them. And that's why it does take a deliberate strategy of creating efficiency, right? Making sure that that handoff is just in time, that the food is hot and ready when they come to pick it up. So it's absolutely most possible to deliver that hot and fresh to the guest, right? So while there are things that are out of our control, take advantage of the things that you can to get that driver in and out, right? To deliver that on time, to create that consistent experience. And that's what'll keep them coming back, right? A lot of times, once you're able to deliver consistently in that experience, they often may look towards your direct ordering channels, right? Your websites and your apps, because the marketplaces are a phenomenal discovery tool. The net new customer acquisition is amazing, right? And a lot of times that outweighs not knowing exactly who that guest is. But over time, as you earn their trust, they will start coming to your direct properties. They will start walking in your door more because they'll know who you are, right? Outside of just the construct of the marketplace from which they ordered from.
We have another comment here.
Do you have any statistics around the before and after on things like chargebacks, hey, I didn't get this, I want you to credit me on it, those kind of things that third-party deliveries will just go ahead and take out of your account without even questioning? Any statistics on how this improved and helped lower those chargebacks or complaints?
We put together kind of a order accuracy committee around a lot of this to really dive into, especially around the DSP process, where the problems were that were triggering those events. The number one thing for us was like bottled soda. They didn't, customer's gonna let you know, hey, where's my soda? Driver, probably not gonna ask that. They're gonna, the drivers, they work really hard, but they're like, I want to get my order and go to the next place because that's how I make my money. I may not check if there's a soda. What we've done is incorporated into the dashboard and our POS just additional information on the customer ticket as well as the FlyBuy dashboard to remind them of those type issues where we're seeing the biggest trigger of chargebacks or errors, that sort of thing. So you try to get out ahead of it early on by, We've added icons around fries and shakes and drinks. We've added some language on the bag, the ticket that sticks on the bag, to remind the person handing the order to the driver that there is a drink with this order, beyond just in the normal check detail. So, but getting around some of those problems. Yeah.
We'll go ahead and
Move forward.
jump to the next question, which I like this because it says what's in store for the future, but I will be honest, the experiences that you're creating here through location technology is pretty futuristic, right? Like, I didn't think in necessarily this stage of my life that I would see these type of advances. But what comes next?
Well, I can see this technology. If you have the volume, if you have the off-premise volume, I can really see a time where there's a position created that sits in the back of house, sitting down in a front of screens, that does nothing with a headset, that communicates to your QC person front of house, so they don't have to look at screens. Their heads up, looking at the customer, and you're talking in their ear, right? I got a DoorDash guy coming in the back door. I got two Uber guys coming in the front door. I've got Mary Smith driving a maroon Odyssey minivan, and she wants separate bags on those burgers. She's pulling into the window. Oh, by the way, it's her son's birthday, and the guy's like, I got it. And his head's up the whole time looking at that. So it makes sense, if you're gonna spend that labor, that you have the volume to do that. But I can see a world where you have this off-premise air traffic controller really running the show in the back, just communicating to the key personnel up front, so they don't have to look at a screen and see, okay, what was that? And now that's kind of a bit advanced, but the technology is there to do it now. If you could justify, having that person when you have that much activity, because when you do have drivers and customers opting in, you can see their full journey, and really could provide a pretty cool experience that, Mr. Smith, here's your burger, thank you, have a nice day, and really personalize it. So,
Personalization, right? I mean, that's really connecting and understanding who they are and tailoring that experience to them. And identifying who that guest is a big piece of location technology, right? Talked about, say, in the drive-through experience, when somebody pulls in, and what does that optimal experience look like? Well, it's that we know who you are and what you're there for, and what you like, and how you like to pay, and just all of the subtle nuances, and make, tailored recommendations based on your order history. But it all starts with identifying that guest right up front. And the awesome thing is that already exists, right? You know who that guest is, where they are, and when they pull in. And so personalization to me is the future, right? It is absolutely how we will transcend the off-premise experience to be highly personalized, just like an in-store experience. And I think the most scalable way to do that is through location technology.
Yeah, and I think that information flow, as a product person, I'm thinking, integrations into systems and all that fun stuff in order to present the right information to the staff. But I think that the most salient thing that, I hope that you all are realizing is that this is the future, right? We are presenting you with tools and technology that really allow you to redefine that guest experience. And, we really want to help you in that journey, because that's where we're experts. But we really think that this is the way to, really deliver to the guest and to the consumer. So I think that we are, living the future now, and I think that there's going to be some great things to come. But let's not lose sight of what's available to us today.
there's an entire generation of people coming up that think talking to other people is creepy, and that is a fact. And it's weird for a lot of us, but it is what it is. When I was a kid, I used to go to the bank on Fridays because my dad had to get money, because there were no ATMs. You had to get money for the weekend, right? Yeah, I'm not that old, but I was a kid. And my dad would buy Christmas cards for the bank tellers because he had a relationship with them, right? Like, customer service back then was, he looked me in the eye and he shook my hand, and then he runs the local hardware store and he can tell me any nut and bolt, what aisle and what row, and right? Customer service for people now is like, it was a seamless experience and I didn't have to talk to a human being, right? And if something went sideways, I still didn't have to talk to a human being, and it was easy to, and when I get frustrated and you give me too many phone trees, I want to talk to a human being. So it's the expectation and the definition of customer service. Unless you're a brand that is known for customer, like really known, like back in the day when American Express was known for customer service, unless that's, everyone says it, but you know, if you were to interview people on the street, who are the companies that really do it well? Unless that's, it's gonna, the person part of it's gonna go away. It just is, unless it's really something you do exceptionally well. I think there'll be fewer and fewer kind of human interactions, probably. And you can say that whether that's good or bad, but I think, you know, the horses left the barn.
Just as long as it's a real person making my burger. I don't know if I yet trust the taste of a robot to make my burger the way that I want it.
Yeah, I saw somewhere online that someone outsourced, it was a live person, but they were on a screen. And they were out, like the person was actually sitting in, you know, Guam or something. And they were you were speaking to a live person on a screen, taking your order, but that person was in a video call center someplace. Yeah, which is, yeah.
Yeah, you're connecting with somebody, but they have nothing to do with the food you're about to eat.
Yeah.
Any other comments? Oh, you're hiding on me.
Do you have any advice for managing up and bringing this technology to a franchisee group who just see it's $50 for your service, $100 for this, and they don't see the value? I know you can't guarantee ROI, but what advice would you have for the tech guy who's coming back and saying, we have to do this, and it's going to cost you X, but here's the return? Because that's going to be the hardest thing coming back from this show. Thanks.
I think we all know that an off-premise transaction is larger, at least for us. So, you know, the people spend more online. And if you can develop those channels and you can provide experiences that meet those customers' need and save those customers' time, it's going to be payoff in the long run. So you can, you know, have to spend $5 to make 6, right? Mm-hmm. But it's there, and it's what customers want. You know, it'd be great if everybody's walked into 4 walls and ordered single burgers all day long, right? And we could just crank, but that's just not how it's. And you want to just, and I'm not saying change your concept or your brand or who you are. We're never going to serve a chicken sandwich, but you want to pay attention to you know, what the customer is doing, you know, yeah, and to pay attention to the technology. You don't want to be first to the game and the last to the game. You know, if I go to a place and it offers, you know, we only take cash, I'm probably going across the street. And if I go in there and they say we only take Bitcoin, I'm probably going to go across the street again. You know, so you just got to meet the needs and tell them that it's worth it.
Yeah, and I think it's very much a numbers game here. You know, we're talking about increasing efficiency, increasing throughput, and I think that if you run the numbers, you're really talking about some adult money here, and you know, in trying to, you know, run more product through your business. And I think that, you know, if you're able to kind of articulate those numbers, it's hard to deny that there's a revenue opportunity, which is why we're all doing this. And I think that that's a good way to phrase, you know, the approach.
Well, I'm a little sad to hear I'll never get to try a Five Guys chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're staying, you know, true to who you are and true to your mission. You know, as we wrap up today, I just, again, want to thank everybody. You know, you could have spent your time hitting the craps or slots. You chose to spend it with us. Find us. We're around. Happy to talk through these things. You know, they're all problems every one of us faces, and there's a multitude of ways that you can approach that. Hopefully we've provided a little bit of insight on the flexibility and the different, you know, potential solutions to those problems. And again, I appreciate it.